The agenda I have for this session is I'll start off with the background of what DataFusion is, then what are the challenges faced by some of our clients who doesn't have DataFusion, and then I will jump into the demonstration of the product. Straight after the demo, I will go through a couple of slides where I'll just summarize what DataFusion, the approach and the benefits, and then the last slide I'll just talk about the special offer from Octane. Just to give you a quick background about what DataFusion can help for and how this DataFusion product came about. We have been in business for more than 6 years now, and most of our clients who are using planning analytics, they also have other BI tools like PowerBi, Click, and Tableau. Now, most of the clients or the customers, when they want to export or want to see the TM1 data in Power BI, they normally export from the TM1 cubes into CSV files. They place those CSV files in a shared folder, and then a Power BI developer will pick up that file and load into the Power BI or Click or Tableau. Now, as you can see, there are multiple steps in this data movement from planning analytics to the BI tools. There could be many hiccups during this process. What are some of the cons with this process? Now you can see the first point, it's resource intensive, which means you need a dedicated TM1 developer who can export this TM1 data out of the TM1 cubes and place it in a CSV file or store this data in a CSV file. Now then we have to ask the IT team to give us a shared folder path wherein the TM1 developer can place those CSV files. And once that part is done, then we need to ask the Power BI developer to manually pick up that file and then load into the Power BI tool. Now we can see there is a lot of dependency in this approach. We have a dependency on the TM1 developer to export the CSV files. We have dependency on the IT team to give us the shared path where the TM1 developer can put the files. And then we also have a Power BI developer who needs to pick up those files and then load into the Power BI tool or any other BI tool. Now, during this process, we can see there are a lot of different types of resources involved. And by the time the data is loaded into the Power BI, the data in TM1 cubes might have got updated. So that means the data what is being reported in Power BI might not be the data what we are seeing in TM1 or the planning analytics cubes. So there we can see clearly that during this process, the data reconciliation issues will arise, and which also means the whole process from export to placing the CSV file and loading into the Power BI needs to be repeated over and over again until the data reconciles. Now, when we saw this process of data flowing from planning analytics cubes to the other BI tools, I think that's when we realized I think there is a gap which we need to fill up. And that's when Octane developed a tool called DataFusion. Now, as you can see from this slide, DataFusion sits in between your planning analytics environment or the planning analytics cubes and your BI tools, which could be Power BI, Tableau, and Click. Now, by simply having this DataFusion product in between these two, the users will be easily able to pull the data from your planning analytics cubes into your Power BI or Tableau and Click. Now, when I say easily, it's a matter of probably a one click, and you will have your TM1 data or the planning analytics data in your BI tools. Not only the data, but you can also get your metadata as well. For instance, if a new product has been added or a new employee has been added, or even a new GL code has been added in your planning analytics, those elements or those metadata can also be easily pulled into your BI tools easily by simply clicking one or two clicks. You will see the data flowing in. Now, this will help. The dependency will go off, which means you don't have to be dependent on a TM1 developer or the ID or the Power BI developer. Now, as you can see, we have plenty of users in your organizations. You might be having, let's say, 500, or it could be 5,000 users who wants to pull data from the planning analytics cubes. Now, giving them the DataFusion, they themselves will be able to easily pull the data and load into their own dashboards without the need of a TM1 developer or an IT person or even a Power BI developer.